What's up, everyone? It's Numotus. I am back with part 2 of episode 3 of the Power Hour Song Challenge. And in this part, I'm going to be fixing the arrangement that I made in an hour in the last episode. Make sure you check that out if you haven't seen this, or maybe you just want to watch this one. Anyway, this time I'm going to be spending an hour doing basically all these tweaks that I wrote down. So I'm going to play the first bit of the song so you get an idea for it. Just make sure that's loud enough. Woof, woof, woof. Yeah. Anyway, that's the general gist of the song. I just kind of want to get this started as soon as possible. So let's go find my hour-long timer and get started knocking out this list of things. As you can see, I wrote down plenty of them, but I'm just going to take them one at a time. This is the 1 hour timer, and go. Alright, so first I want to change this intro lead. I think it sucks. It's mostly this like talking one. I'm just totally gonna replace it with let's just grab Twin 2. Usually has some really great presets. And that's right here. Maybe in keys. I should be hearing something, right? Yes. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna actually duplicate that, and I'm gonna add that to my layer, which is this piano that I have in the bridge part. I'm gonna add that there, and then what I wanted to do is add the piano to the outro. And right here, this is the reverb automation. I wanted to change this so that it isn't so reverbed out when it comes in. So we'll leave it like there. That's good. Now back to this. This is now Twin 2. So we'll call it that. And keep going through and find something good. I like that. And maybe what I want to do is have this synth. It is in mono. Let's see what happens if I have it and just use a chord instead of having to go in. Chord. Instead of having to go in and fix all the MIDI, I'm just going to do that. And I can turn it on right here, so we have some progression that goes. And I want to add some compression to this. I love using this little this L1 limiter. I don't know if this is the best choice for right now, but I'm trying to be fast. And this is something I'll take care of in probably part 3 if I do one where I do all of the mixing for this track. Let's close this so I'm not looking at myself recording. This is a little bit too, maybe there's just too much reverb, too much release. I want to warm this up a bit using amp. Just kind of give it a little more warmth, and I want to see how it sounds an octave lower. Ah. There's something weird. I noticed that before, that there's some weird pop thing here. It's this dead air effect. No, it's actually this filter changing. But it is also that, which I'm just gonna add like a slight fade onto this so it doesn't do that. It's still there, there's still something doing that, and I'm going to find out what. But I need to focus, so yeah, change intro lead. Just in case I lose this. So the next thing I wanted to do was pitch bend attack on bass. Yeah, let's work on this bass. So we can add a bit of a pitch bend attack using envelope 2, and we put this onto master pitch. Can we do that? Let's see. I can put it on oscillator 1 pitch and oscillator 2 pitch. That didn't really do much, but I'm gonna move on now. Fix octave automation. That's what's going on here. If you saw what I did in the last video, I'm actually automating the. Technically, I'm modulating it because it's done here, but it's not there. It's right here. I can go and right here say show modulation because it's there. There it is. And you can hear the pitch of one of the oscillators move up. So I want to just kind of have this be a bit more natural flow. And then here, totally. Yeah, that makes more sense for the build. So we'll copy these over now that I changed it. And that's a little better. Where am I on time? 50 minutes, 51 minutes. Where's my list? Did I really close my list? Let's go find it again. That's why I saved it. I ain't that stupid. Total balance of drop synths. Now this might take a little more time, but we have this. The synth line in the drop. Play the whole thing. So quickly, I'm going to kind of take a look at how these are, you know, looking in the mix. So they both have a lot of this like bass in here. This is kind of my focus layer, and this is kind of my like bright and wide layer. So I want to make this louder. And I might even add even more layers to this. Let's do the same thing with the chord plugin. And go back into both of these silents and make sure that they are not on mono. And turn the portamento down. And this is my velocities, right? So for the higher one, it's a little too high. And how's my portamento is good right there. And now with the bigger synth. I think this synth too is also too low. Where I want to take a chord and first pitch it up, pitch all the MIDI up 1 octave, and then turn it down and make it basically an extra layer of all the MIDI notes down 1 octave, and turn the velocity of those down, and let's see how that sounds. And the brightness on here is nice. I think I'm squashing it with this limiter here inside of Razor too much. And maybe this dampness. That sounds a lot better. And then definitely the reverb tail of that is going to be an issue in the future. But I wrote something in here about that, like free synths and cut reverb. So we're just moving along now. And right now we're on more effects to smooth transition. So let's listen to where we have the transitionary points. So I definitely want to have you know, I think this song deserves a lot of effects. So let's go in here to my effects and maybe go into these one shots and see what I got. That's really cool. I'm gonna reverse this and put something. I wanted something to go right here. That's nice. Right here we've got just a tiny problem, which is that, and we're gonna fix that like so. So that's pretty nice. Turn that down a couple dB, 4. It's a little bit too much in the left ear. So that might be a cool thing to use, but I'm really looking for when the melody comes in. That's pretty nice, and I can use that as kind of a micro riser. First, let's make it so we can hear it, and then get another. I think there's a really I think there's this go-to reverse. Shout out quicks for this sample. This is an old one. But this is just for super quick. I even do it one more time, like another whole octave. Nah, that doesn't sound quite right. But maybe we can layer that on there too. And then once I get these, down, it's pretty easy to copy this because you don't want to change the way that this sounds too much throughout the song. This is just kind of like your transition effect. Another one of these explosions here. Whoa, don't copy everything. That would be good to put there too for the build. And I'm gonna do a little bit of EQ on this because it seems just a little too bright. And turn these up. And turn this one down. Delay on this guy. Put it on 6. Let's see. That's pretty good. And what I want to do to kind of make that a bit more washed out is grab a Valhalla room and put it on here, but then make a dry chain. So that will basically be 50-50. But I want this to be dry coming in, so first let's pick a good preset. This is usually good, just deep space. Not that much. That's pretty good though. And then we want to mess with this mix here and have this go like that. So that's a nice little addition to that effect. I think where I have these contact strikes, this deep drum has to happen at the same time there. And these guys, again, it's another mixing fix that I'll do later. But right now I want to get the arrangement to a really completed spot. So let's put that there, see how this sounds with this cooldown bit. Maybe duplicate it. This is too loud, this little zipper effect. And then this transition really needs to be smooth as well. And what I can do is maybe put this on texture mode and then bring up the transpose. That helps a little, but I also want to quickly add some reverse reverb maybe. We're at 38 minutes. So what I would do is just, I have a resample track ready to go here in my template, thank goodness. I got those two, the synth soloed. So just go ahead and hit record. That's all we need. So zoom in here, grab the first note, hit Control E to slice it, and we've got this. You can reverse it, but it's probably not too necessary. and then throw some reverb on it. I can just use the regular Ableton reverb. I think that's cool. But let's crank it. And turn the dry wet all the way up. And that's just fine. And now we're going to freeze and flatten this. And put it back before the part and reverse it again so that we have our reverse reverb. And I do kind of want a little gap there that happens before the track kind of goes into the second half of the drop. Except we have a bunch of crud here, like these hi-hats and this percussion, which I'm going to change. And that riser there, which is just going to shift back to match. And you too. And they need to go back a couple more. So whatever else is in there that's making noise during this part that should be silent, that's another thing to take care of in the mix. It's actually this. So we can just kind of turn it off. And you can hear that it doesn't completely go silent, but yeah, we can still take care of that later. Did I put any of these in the drop? I think that there should be, put some reverse crashes in the drop. No, I just put crashes in the drop. So let's also just call this cymbal and then just reverse cymbal, so we can get some reverse cymbals going on here. And then I really need to move on to the next part. Control 1, Control 2 gives me a bigger size grid. Thank you. Okay. Reverse. Sometimes I don't like to use the same sample for the reverse crash. It's not always the best idea. It all depends on how you're feeling. But let's keep the pattern here where it kind of doubles and does some nice stuff, and maybe put this throughout the song to emphasize the other transition effects. That's looking good. Put these where they were again. And then get some more going on here. And that should be good. What's the next thing on my list? It says more drums in intro build. So this is where I don't close my thing again. And then we get some kicks, probably to emphasize these effects and kind of make a beat here. Which we can do something like this. Definitely going to change that clap sample. Well, let's see, kick. Let's use that one for the intro and use the thumpier one for the drop. I think that makes sense. There we go. I saved it and duplicated it at the same time. There you go, I saved it again. Alright. Okay. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll get rid of this afterwards. You know what? You know what? Let's keep it simple for the first drop. But here in the second one, let's use this. So again, I might change that, but that kind of fills in the intro with drums and makes the whole song a little more cohesive. More drums intro build. Okay, vocal chop and or drum fill before drop. So we have this. So I kind of wanted to add a whole vocal chop to the intro, and let's quickly see if we can find a melodic sample that I can use. This is actually gonna take a decent amount of time as well, and I only have half an hour left. So I want to go into my samples and vocals and acapellas, and maybe there's some melodic ones. See, I need to organize all these too, because these are mostly rap acapellas. Actually, let's use this, and we'll just use a small chop. That's the instrumental. What am I doing? Okay. So let's grab a couple sections of this that look pretty good, because I don't want to really play through the acapella and get this video flagged. Right now I'm holding Alt to kind of select little different bits of this. This is the best one. That's easily the best one, and maybe maybe that's the only one that we need to go with. So if I go down to my master, I have a spectrum loaded here already. And I can see that that is a B note, so I can put this in a sampler and put that there. And now we can play the sample. Right? Right? I can play the sample. Did I just delete that? Yeah. So okay, this might work. First, we're gonna put the root note at B because that's what we just discovered, and we're gonna add some cool effects to this, mostly reverb and delay. Just delay for now, really. Just call that vocal chop. And we can play chords. Let's turn the feedback down and the mix down a little bit. And then I like to use, whenever I use vocals, and sometimes on lead synths, I'll put this vocal shimmer rack, and this compresses the highs a lot. As you can tell, so I'll turn this down a little bit. So now let's go ahead and copy our melody, and I'm not going to use the melody exactly here, but I do, honestly, I like how that sounds enough. But I just want to go in here and kind of tweak this area that I'm using. So now I want this kind of falling melody here before the drop. So maybe this will come back in. So maybe I'm adding unnecessary stuff to this track, but it feels empty now without this. So once again, that's pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna go back again and grab the leads and bring them up to the vocal chop, and then copy them so that they fill up both octaves again, and put them here as well. So that is kind of there. And yeah, I definitely want to add a low pass filter for this as it comes in, or to make it kind of come in, so that it's not fully present as soon as it comes in. So that part's good. Now let's move on to the next thing. We got more drums. We got vocal chop, change percussion. Let's see what we can do with this silly sounding percussion here in this 128 rack. So right now it sounds like this, which is pretty interesting. But let's actually switch this to this digital perc 128. So all I have to do is move the MIDI, and then maybe over here. And kind of like I said I was gonna do before, is just do this, and then make another. I can put this here and call this reverse reverb, because that's what it is, and then use my resampling track to kind of get some good patterns out of this. So let's go. So yeah, I think there was some pretty cool stuff in there. This is now a very long sample that we got. It's actually almost the length of the drop. So let's go back in here and put this into not a MIDI track, a regular audio track. Oh snap, I have 17 minutes left, and we are not really halfway through the list I made, but this is what it's all about. You just gotta kind of go and make a list and then do it, and sometimes it takes longer than you think. This is the whole idea that I'm trying to get across to you guys, you know. So let's mute that and just listen. sounded pretty cool. But we definitely want to have this kind of go away and come back. So we're starting to get somewhere, and this will probably need some more editing later. But we can see what weird stuff we can do, kind of like this. So I like that section. So maybe grab a bit from the other one. And just kind of move these around to see if it sounds a little better. And that's something that will kind of take a while to play around with and get right. For now, I'm just going to duplicate what I have because it's a little better than what I had before. Woo, put that in drop 2 and move right along. Change percussion, freeze synths, and cut reverb, and then add a tape stop. Vocal chop and build we did. Piano and outro we did. Tweak main bass and add another bass sound. Let's see, I don't know if I'm ready to freeze the synths yet. I think I still want to tweak the tonal balance a little bit more, but we can mess around with this bass in Serum and see if we can get it to be a bit more unique, because I've used this preset in a different track, and it's definitely cool, but it's not something I want to just reuse over and over again. So maybe grab a different wavetable from somewhere. Okay, see, it's FMing from there. So that gives it a really, really crispiness. So now, this sounded really good with like an analog type sound. Ooh, that's tight. Okay, so what I want to do, which is a little thing that I showed you guys in another one of my tutorials, is basically create a chain and create a, basically use the chain selector now to switch between these two bases. So hit distribute ranges equally after you stretch them out, and then map to macro 1. So you can basically switch between which modulation is playing, and I'll link to that tutorial here in case you need a longer description, because that was so fast. So right now we've got that. Yeah. I don't know why I'm using that. But yeah, that wavetable takes a while to find a really good wavetable that sounds nice. So yeah, put this serum on this chain and then do this modulation the way that I had it before, which is like. Yeah, maybe turn that porta up just a little bit more so it's really just like all over the place. So let's have it switch there. Okay. Some tweaks here and there. This I'm going to put back down to where it was. And probably come in and tweak the second drop so that has some variation. But now we have 7 minutes and we've added that. Alright, so let's see if we can make the kick and snare a little better just by changing these samples. Where is my kick? Can't hear it. That's because my sub's too loud and there's really no side chain yet. But I also want to. So right now just getting it to match the pattern of my, drop flow a bit more, the synths and the bass. The way I originally drew it in was not quite there. So what I put here, something like that. And then do the same type of thing for here. And move this. And again, bring these guys up, bring that up so we have a good layer, and then maybe this guy have just a quick EQ to get rid of the low end because we don't want it clashing too much. Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's what you gotta do. And there's a little click, so we gotta do that. Okay, and now maybe let's find a little better of clap and snare samples for this. Love me that captain clap. I like that. Let's keep that going. Here, turn down my generic 808 clap and pitch that up. Definitely mess around with the pitch of your percussion samples here. And this little filter comes in super handy because it's got this like weird low end that is not good. And turn that up, maybe not that much, but sounds a little better. I don't need that to be that loud. That's our like dubstep snare, and I like I like the transient, but we need something else here. So let's get some kind of I'm just gonna search for like an analog snare type thing. That's totally not what I was hoping for, but that's actually gonna be good for the drop. But let's keep the transient of this other one by using a fade in of about maybe 20 milliseconds, and definitely turn this down. Now we can hear in the drop. Nah, that's not really working. That sounds good. That's much nicer. So now let's also put that there. And maybe layer in this clap to give it a bit more emphasis. And do the same, copy, copy, copy. This is what it's all about. Let's see, how much time do I have left? Less than a minute remaining. I guess we're gonna leave it at that, and I'll play you through what it sounds like now. It's still totally not perfect, but I got through most of everything on my list. And so now what I would do is take a break, come back, listen to it once or twice, make another list, and then set a timer and do the stuff on that list. And if you do this a couple times, then there it goes. If you do this a couple times, then your song will be done. And then all that will be left to do is mix it down. And you can even kind of combine this with the mixing phase and write down the mixing tweaks that you want to make as well. It's always good to mix a little as you go, but definitely don't get caught up in it. I know this was in G. Jones' interview recently, and he says definitely don't get caught up in the mix. Because you can spend forever. You can do the mixing later. The ideas might not come back to you if you waste your time doing the mixing while you should be doing the arrangement. So anyway, here is how the track sounds right now. Okay, well, if you ask me, still needs a lot of work, but I did get a lot done in just 1 hour, and I hope you guys learned something, learned some techniques, or at least are inspired to go and make your own music, or at least had fun watching me. So please stay tuned for the next one. Stay tuned for my other videos, tutorials, and stuff. And check out my Patreon, please, please, please. If you are a music producer, lots of resources there that you can get for cheap, and you'll also be supporting me, and I will love you forever. Woo! All right, bye bye.